Howdy everybody. It's harvest time for the turmeric. So you can see that the plants have all died. So now it's a good time to begin taking the roots. I have the handy spade here. This is the tool you want to use to get the turmeric out. Use this for potatoes too. Any kind of a root crop that you want to dig out of the ground, this is the tool you want to use for it, not a shovel. A shovel will cut right through the roots here of the turmeric. Now, turmeric is an interesting plant and that it takes really 2 years for the root to develop. It's a perennial plant, so all of these are dead up here, but they'll grow again from the tubers. So if you want to have a good harvest, you're going to plant it, you're going to let it grow, it's going to die off, and you're going to do nothing. You're going to wait a year, and then you're going to let it come back up and die off again, and then the second year is when you begin to harvest. Then, after that, you can harvest every year. Now we have a patch here, and we have another one over there. Not as easy to see because it's all died out. And last year, I planted some turmeric in the enchanted forest, and I planted some down here at the bottom of one of the swales. Turns out that the ones that I planted down here didn't grow very well. I don't know if it was the soil, maybe it was drier, but those didn't do very well. So I don't have a lot of high hopes that that's going to work out, but we'll see when the wet season comes. If we get new turmeric growing over there, well, then it wasn't as much of a failure as I thought. The ones over here in the enchanted forest, where it's nice and moist, did really well. Of course, one of the problems is that there's so much stuff growing over in the enchanted forest, it had a tendency to kind of try to choke out the turmeric. And I didn't do anything. I didn't weed around it. I didn't do any of that stuff. So we'll have to see what happens in year 2 with that. So what I'm going to do is, you can see here is some old leaves of the turmeric and stems. So I know that there's going to be some root here. And Lena, can you come in very close here? You can see there's a tuber sticking out right here where my finger is. If you kind of move around, here's more, you can see more here. You could usually see the tubers. They're very close, they're not real deep to the surface. So this lets me know where to dig. So I'm going to take the spade and I'm just going to work it in here. This ground is hard. We have very heavy clay soil here. And you can see I'm breaking this up a little bit. Now I'm going around in kind of like a circle, and I can only do a semicircle because there's more right here. And I don't know how big the stand of the tubers is. Now I'm going to come over here again in kind of like a semicircle. Letting the tool do the work. I'm not putting much pressure here. I'm just wiggling it so that it goes in the ground. Those of you who are not in heavy clay soil, the spade will go in the ground much easier than mine did here. And now we're going to look and see what we have. There's still some down in here. So this was just a small plant. There's 2 nodes where the plant came up, and the rest of it are tubers that we can break off.
It smell good?
Yeah.
Smell good.
Yeah. So I'm going to break this off, put it back in, put this one back in, this one back in. So what you do is you always replant. This is the first one. I'm going to take most of the dirt off of this, but for now I'm just going to leave it like it is. Okay, so I put what I took out there right back in the hole to mark it. You can see there's a string of plants here, and so I'm going to try to dig this one up too. Again, I'm just letting the tool do the work. This is a heavy one. Here's where it is. This is going to be a small one here because it was just part of this. I wasn't even trying to get this. I wound up over here because it's so difficult to get it out. You have to be very patient with this because you don't want to damage the root ball. Because we have two plants right next to each other, we have to try to take them at the same time. I'm lifting here, but it's lifting that up there, so it's all part of the same. There we go. Now, let's see what we have here. Holy shit! Excuse me. Look at all of this material here. And look down in here. This one here is even bigger. That's why I was having so much trouble getting this one to come out. Now it should come out easier.
We are going to make some rice with turmeric today.
Good. Of course, we have the added challenge of having roots from the papaya tree mixed in here too. That's what I'm talking about. Even the chickens are excited. Oh yeah. Look at that. Okay, so what you see here is probably somewhere in the vicinity of about 5% of the total amount that we have planted in the ground here. And it's a huge amount of turmeric. Am I going to dig the rest of it up right now? No. No, I'm not. Why? Because the turmeric keeps better if it's in the ground than if you take it out. So if you're not going to use it, it's better to leave it in the ground and come back later and dig some more out. And of course, when the rains come, this will all grow back up again. You don't want to harvest during that time. So you want to make sure you harvest enough to last you during the wet season. Turmeric is a tropical plant. It doesn't deal well with cold or frost or snow or anything like that. So it's not a great temperate climate plant, but it's good if you're in the subtropics or if you're in the tropics like we are. Turmeric is a great plant to grow. It's actually quite easy to grow. So I'm going to have to clean up this harvest now, and with that, I'm going to end it here. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching.